Have you ever heard the saying, you have 2 ears to listen for a reason? Make sure to stick around to the end for free tools and resources you can use today. 1. How we got into this situation. 2. Benefits of talking less. And finally, the solution to talking too much with examples. If that sounds interesting to you, keep watching. The phrase I talked about at the beginning of this video seems to have been forgotten in the age of social media. But I'm not saying at all that I'm any better or immune to this. In fact, to the contrary, I talked nonstop as a child. I definitely know what it's like to feel like you'll almost lose your words if you don't say them. People called me annoying, and my parents even called me a chatterbox. I, however, did not care what people said. But as I would come to learn later on, that was the least of my worries. This raises an interesting question. How did we find ourselves in this situation? To me, the answer is not hard to find. Social media. In an age where people are constantly worried about what people will think about them, how many likes they will get, how many followers will they get, ranging from adults to kids. Seeing a direct correlation between posting and being an influencer. It's no surprise they are distant, addicted, and selfish. It gets even worse, however, when you look at the statistics. 24% of teens use social media almost constantly, with an additional 76% being active. For adults, it's not much better. I believe social media has made this situation much worse. You may be asking, what is the point in all this? I want to tell you about the benefits of not talking so much, since I have already talked about the downsides ad nauseum. And just like with everything, the benefits are even better when you know what you're up against. Number 1, women like you more. Now let me explain. Now if you were talking to her constantly, telling her everything that happened to you, every day, do you think she'd be attracted to you? Hopefully, your answer was no. Now let's try the opposite. You don't talk to her much, but when you do, you're vague, mysterious, and interesting. Do you think she'll be more attracted to you now? Yes! Another benefit, if you're not interested in dating or relationships, is 2. You will learn far more. How, you say? Let's think about this. If you are listening to what others have to say, instead of just waiting till they're done talking, so you can keep going on with your story, all the while you aren't truly listening to them. This is a critical mistake that all people make. Not on purpose, but they make them nonetheless. As Peterson's 9th rule for life states, assume everyone knows something you don't. Another way of thinking about it is you can never learn something from what you have to say. You already know it, right? However, you can learn infinite amounts from what they are saying. But I realize it's much easier to say than to do. It is also a hard skill to perfect. So I have some steps for you to do just that. Number 1 is to face the speaker and have good eye contact. Oftentimes, if you look into someone's eyes and face them, even if you don't want to listen, you will. 2, body language is key. There's literally hundreds of books on the subject for a reason. More is done through body language than even talking. As an example, facial expressions, tone of words, and gestures can tell you more than anything else. Looking for signs is crucial as well. Are they smiling? They are likely happy. Or are their arms crossed defensively? It can tell you a lot. 3, don't interrupt. Being interrupted is extremely annoying to both you and them. It also gives the impression that you think you are more important than them. It can also steer the conversation in the wrong direction and end up sidetracking the conversation from what they initially were telling you, which is a waste of time for both you and them. And this is a big one that I struggle with a lot. Number 4, listening without judgment or jumping to conclusions. This is especially challenging for people with quick brains like myself, which has the bad habit of thinking it knows what's being said before it has listened to the full story. It is doubly hard when you grow up like that and have to try to break that habit. 5, don't start planning what to say next. That takes all of your brain power away from what the person you are listening to is saying and puts it on you and what you should say next. And in the process of trying to figure out what to say next, you have missed what they said. Instead, be in the moment. I promise you, you will know what to say in the moment. 6, another great way to show you're listening and actually retain information is show you're listening. What do I mean by this? Nod, okay, that makes sense. Or any other short audible phrases. This will get you more into the conversation and in turn allow you to remember more. Don't impose your opinions or solutions on others. I know that many times when someone tells us a problem or issue, we're tempted to fix the problem or issue. I mean, isn't that why they're telling us? Not always. Oftentimes like to vent their frustrations to you, not wanting you to say anything, but just for them to let it out. They don't want someone to fix the issue. They just want someone to be an ear for them and listen. So this can be taken one of two ways. One, you can be annoyed. They just expect you to sit there and hear their problems. Or 2, you could feel lucky that they chose you, of all people, to tell their problems to. 8, stay focused. If you find that it is hard to pay attention and stay focused, try repeating what they say back to yourself in your head and shut out distractions. 9, ask questions. Asking relevant questions can show that you are listening and help you to understand what they are saying. And it forces your brain to pay attention. 10, paraphrase and summarize. This can do 2 things. Allow you to understand more and again, allow you to look like you're paying attention. All of these may sound straightforward and easy, but I assure you they are not. I also realize that talking a lot is an extremely hard habit to break. I also gave links down in the description to multiple options that I am about to speak about and that I highly recommend. 1, meditation. So if you don't know what meditation is, it's where you sit down and close your eyes for however long your session is for. And I know what you're thinking. It sounds easy. But believe me when I tell you, it is not. Even more than what you see on the outside, the true work is happening on the inside. Let me explain. Immediately, your mind is flooded with thoughts like, what did I eat this morning? This is uncomfortable. is this almost over yet? This is what is absolutely imperative that you defeat, because that is your body telling you all those things. That is not what you want. You want your mind to wander freely. Now, how does this help you when it comes to talking less? If you learn how to control your impulses when it comes to meditation, you are a big step towards controlling your impulses when it comes to speaking. If you need help with this, I included a link in the description to a meditation walkthrough book, which helped make it so much simpler. Another huge step that I used and highly recommend is to journal. It can be a very daunting task to start and to make into a habit. So I included some great journals that helped a ton in the description. First, you take the journal and write down all the things that were memorable. My recommendation is to do it at the end of your day so that you can have the whole day to write about, and you only have to write once a day for minimal hassle. The even cooler thing, though, is that you have literally a written account of everything that happened that day, which can be extremely useful if you're forgetful like me. You can also look back on pages of your notebook and see just how far you've come. One of the most underrated things you can do when journaling is daily gratitudes. In fact, those doing it just once a week for 10 weeks reported experiencing more gratitude, positive moods, and optimism about the future, as well as better sleep. I mean, wow, and there's still more benefits, including improved self-esteem, making you more resilient and able to deal with adversity, more generosity and forgiving, keeping you in the present moment, lowering stress and anxiety, and many more extreme benefits. If you want a journal to experience all of this, I put 2 of my personal favorites and ones that helped me tremendously down in the description. Now, how does this make you talk less? Well, in my experience, these help me by allowing me to get all my words out on paper and not needing to talk nearly as much as far as journaling goes, and being able to get it out through my mind as far as meditation goes. I also noticed that when I sat down to start meditating, my mind was all over the place, causing me to have anxiety. When I sat down and cleared my mind for just 10 minutes, I opened my eyes and was so calm and relaxed. I literally didn't have any thoughts going through my mind, thus not needing to speak. And remember that there are links to other options, including journals, in the description. If you like to be inspired, made to think, and educated, hit that like and subscribe button. See you there.